scenario for them as this season wears on.
Yeah, this is a huge opportunity for both of these teams to climb up the table. They both have games in hand, and they'll want to be collecting points to take advantage of those games in hand, because inevitably, if they don't win those games in hand and collect points, they'll be wasted. So, you know, this is a big opportunity for both of these teams tonight.
We took a look at two players earlier. Fall versus Ottawa had the lone goal, and Martinez against Richmond had both goals for their respective teams. So the offensive firepower should be lying with those two gentlemen. Moments away from getting on with this game. Whistle gives us a start. Appreciate you hanging around and waiting up for us. And already we're going to see an opportunity for both of these clubs to get involved in the action. Charlotte and Rochester from Charlotte.
Yeah, the advantage that the weather's given us is that the game's kicked off a little bit later, which means the temperature would be a little bit lower. The slick pitch that they've had from the rain is going to make the tempo of the game a little bit quicker, so it could make things a little bit more exciting this evening.
Both teams will feel each other out before we start to see some activity. Rochester will go backwards before they go forwards. They're going from left to right on your screen, and it is the Jacks going from right to left.
Yeah, and you know, Canado Falls has been a big player for Rochester this season. It'll be interesting to see him take control of his team, get the ball on the deck, and dictate the play and the pace of the game that he has done throughout the season so far.
Throw in coming up. You see that ball staying on the ground for Rochester, looking for opportunities to go forward. Nothing there, and they'll go all the way back to the keeper.
Yeah, a night like tonight with a slippy pitch, they want to be careful with those passes back to the keeper. There's an opportunity for that error with the pitch being a little more slippy than normal for a mistake. So, you know, that's going to be something that Rochester will be looking to capitalize on if Charlotte choose to play that way.
I have never spoken to a player that didn't like to play on a wet pitch.
I love to play on a wet pitch because I like to make tackles. So it's always a great opportunity for me to make slide tackles and to win the ball and to get stuck into the game. So, you know, for me personally, I loved it. But for defenders, it can be a nightmare because the ball comes that little bit quicker. It can challenge your judgment a little bit more.
Nobody to chase it down for Rochester, so it will be thrown back by Kalungi over to Mizell.
Yeah, Mizell had a fantastic game last week for Charlotte, and he'd be looking to carry on that confidence that he would have picked up from the last couple of games, keeping 2 clean sheets. He want to defend that record again tonight.
So we'll see which way this one decides to go. Groff not happy that it won't be with his club. And this is a throw in so close to the corner that Charlotte could basically take advantage of this situation. They go short.
Yeah, you see them applying high pressure there. That's not the best clearance across the face of his goal, but he's got away with it to the keeper, and they're building the attack out now from the back.
With some running room, Estrada try to switch sides, and that is way off the mark and easily picked up by Brown.
Yeah, that pass was probably a bit unnecessary. He had easy options around him, and he chose to go for the long cross-switch pass. Fantastic pass there from Martinez. Bit of deception, totally caught Rochester out there.
Charlotte fouled from behind. Another look at Estrada right there, David Estrada. And Charlotte turns it over. Those are the types of things that come with being a little jittery. Passes that are a little too heavy, especially as you're going into that final third. It's the wrong time to turn the ball over.
Yeah, I think the first 5 minutes here has probably been a bit of case of the delay. You know, the players a little bit sluggish starting the game, but I think as it goes on from here, you're going to see the tempo of the game pick up once the players start to get into it a little bit more.
Both teams playing in a 4-4-2. That doesn't really give an advantage to either club, does it?
As I said, you know, you can see right here, if you look at the field, Beresford isn't quite playing up top in the 4-4-2. He's playing behind the forward, so it looks a little bit more like a 4-2-3-1 right now.
And here's Charlotte moving the ball forward. Still on it. Nice slide tackle. And And they get it right back.
Yeah, Charlotte picking up some loose balls in the middle there, trying to build the attack, but not quite making that end product count right now.
That ball into the 18, lays off. Nobody home for Charlotte. Gets it right back. Trying to find the foot to get the shot off.
Clever play from Charlotte in and around the 18-yard box there. Enzo had a chance to slide that off for a teammate for an easy shot on goal, but the pass went a little bit wayward. But Charlotte now starting to feel their way into the game and creating some chances.
Fans, stay up to date with the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget, Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USL Soccer for dates and times. Rochester reversing field.
Rochester taking their time in the build-up. Slow, patient passing. Keeping possession of the ball side to side. Trying to make their opponents work without the ball right now.
You see some movement going forward as Forbes.
Yeah, a good forward pass there. Surface obviously a little bit slippery. The touch got away there, but shot from long distance there. Rochester's first shot, unfortunately not on target, but starting to build the attack a little bit better right now.
When you're on your first attack of the evening, do you like to see it build up a little bit more rather than taking that shot from distance? It wasn't like there was a tremendous amount of pressure that he had to get it off, and there were some options left and right.
I think on a night like tonight, when the pitch is very slippery, you encourage the players to shoot at sight, because if the ball picks up speed traveling along the surface of the ground, it's going to be very difficult for the keeper to keep hold of it. So, you encourage players on a night like tonight to take as many shots as they can along the floor rather than so much in the air, so that the ball can slip.
And that ball is moving back and forth at this point. Both teams with one concerted effort towards goal each.
Yeah, it's a great night, a fantastic surface to get the ball down and pass. And I think the team that's going to be more successful is the team that's able to move that ball quicker along the floor is going to be the one that's going to be more successful tonight. It's a fantastic night to play.
The Jacks were moving the ball down the pitch, one touch after another, and then ultimately gave it up. Now an opportunity for Rochester as that is broken up, and the men in blue will reverse the action.
Yeah, Rochester just dribbling a bit, overrunning the ball there. They just need to keep it simple, keep the ball moving. And night like tonight, the ball's going to move far quicker than any player dribbling with it right now. So, they just need to keep that ball moving quickly, and the opportunities are going to open up.
And this is a wide open pitch. Building from the back. Still on it. Going forward, but nobody home.
Yeah, that's Martinez again. He has that ability. He has good close control, agile, very strong for his size. He has the ability to make the difference for the team for Charlotte tonight, and we've seen that so far this season. And they're going to need that tonight to get this win against a very good Rochester side.
Ball was intended for Brown. Charlotte comes up with it. Kalungi. Ross now out wide. Sent forward to a sprint. Knocked down inside the box. Still on it. Takes the shot. Just wide.
And that's Martinez again. And we were just talking about how strong he is for his size. If you watch this, you see the defender knocks him to the floor, it could have been a penalty on another night. He manages to get back up, get hold of the ball and get a strike and go, and is unlucky not to score. As you see, the ball clipped into him here.
Beautiful ball. Played it off the chest.
Off the floor, strong, gets back up, shrugs off a defender, left-footed shot, unfortunate not to score. Fantastic play from Martinez.
If it isn't for a sprinting defender to kind of just put a little pressure on him, he gets to be a little bit more patient with that shot. Probably had to wait maybe a half a second, but by the time he waited that half a second, it would have been a closed-up net.
Yeah, he kind of just swung at it with his weaker foot. He's unlucky not to score there.
That is an opportunity that Charlotte can build on, knowing that that mismatch is going to be there. Ball into the box is knocked out.
Yeah, and we're only 10 minutes into the game, and Martinez has already shown the danger man for Charlotte. Rochester are going to want to pay him a little more attention to ensure they snuff out them chances that he's creating right now.
Enzo had that beard when you knew him?
Nah, he didn't have that beard. I would have probably shaved it off for him.
Bruce Silver along with Chris Nurse. Nursey has played this game on all kinds of levels over the 135 years of his career. That has seen him play not only in the U.S., but in the U.K., and also captain of his national team with Guyana.
Yeah, Rochester was actually the first club that I came to play for in the U.S., and I had a great time there. It's a very rich history with the club. A lot of very passionate fans. It's good to see the club's heading in the right direction now. They've been successful on the field for the past few seasons, and Bob Lilly is a very good coach, and they have a lot of talented players. It's great to see a club like Rochester doing so well.
Soccer fans, Nike is the official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. You see Enzo trying to use that strength, stay on the ball before he gets it out wide.
He has fantastic strength for his size.
Defense tightening up as Charlotte gets into that final third.
Yeah, Charlotte have retreated all their players back behind the ball right now. You can see all 11 players in their own half, so they're making it very difficult to be passed through.
Kalungi, and he'll play catch for a bit. Nice long distance pass.
Enzo again showing his strength right there.
To Martinez.
Fantastic pass.
And that's going to find the back of the net.
Fantastic goal. If you look where that started from, Enzo again showing his strength. A clever little pass. That is a fantastic through ball, and that's a very composed finish. It's a very good goal there from Charlotte.
Estrada strikes in the 12th minute. And you take a look at this build-up.
It's a fantastic pass there for Alex Martinez. Fantastic composed finish.
What I really like about this, between the Gonzalez brothers and then ultimately being finished by Estrada, the ball stays on the ground. A lot of one-touch action to move it forward. Catches Rochester on their heels. And in the 12th minute, we now have a 1-0 game in favor of Charlotte.
Yeah, and despite the break, this is exactly the kind of start that Mike Jeffries would have asked from his team. They've weathered the storm in the first 10 minutes, and they've taken the lead. And again, defending this new stadium that they've gone to and 1-0 up at home. I think moving to this stadium has really helped them to find a home, settle themselves down, and right now they're unbeaten here right now, and I think they're looking to protect that again tonight.
Beautiful facility here in Matthews. And you're right about getting that win. They opened up the stadium on June 17th with a 2-0 win over Harrisburg City.
Yeah, and it's very good to see the fans who have braved the delay tonight. There was almost a 2-hour delay, and some very passionate fans in the stadium still here tonight supporting the teams. That's always fantastic to see, for them to get behind their team.
Card goes to number 15, Joe Farrell. And that's in the 14th minute, and it also opens up a very good opportunity for the Jacks from short distance.
Yeah, this is in a shooting position here. Not the kind of place you want your defenders to give away cheap free kicks, and it gives Charlotte an opportunity to have a shot on goal here. Slippery surface. If it skids off, it could give the goalkeeper problems here.
Type of foul that Farrell could have avoided.
Yeah, I think he just got caught slightly out of position in that circumstance, and rather than allow the player to go through on goal, he clipped him slightly and just took the yellow card for the team.
Herrera, right foot, right through and right into the hands of a waiting Dan Lynn.
Yeah, it's a good strike. Don't think it really troubled the keeper. He had a clear sight and it all the way through. Good height for him, and he was able to collect it comfortably.
But what that also does is for the next 75 minutes, it kind of hampers the way that Farrell can play this game.
Yeah, especially with, you know, the kind of forwards that Charlotte have. Tricky players, very quick, nippy players. He's going to have to be careful sticking his foot in. He's really going to have to be on top of his position and make sure that he's in better positions rather than having to make last-ditch challenges.
Charlotte really controlling the tempo as of late.
Yeah, I think they'll be looking for a bit of revenge. The last time these two teams met, I think they were on the end of a 4-0 drumming from Rochester, and I think they're looking for a little bit of revenge with this new streak of form that they're hitting right now.
And that loss was up in New York. Little flick on, doesn't quite make the mark, and Rochester now on the ball, and right off of it is Estrada picks it up easily.
Yeah, Charlotte dictating the tempo of the game and the play right now. Rochester just need to get hold of the ball, keep it for a few passes and start to build their confidence, rather than allowing Charlotte to build their own confidence by dictating the game so freely right now.
And right now, just moving the ball at will. Marquez Davidson slides it out, and Charlotte, that back heel pass just misses the mark. It was intended for Yearwood, and you look at Yearwood, who's playing way up off of that back line.
Yeah, they had good possession there. You know, they'd be disappointed to give it away with a cheap flick like that. Would have been a better option just to play a simple pass to his teammate. But they've regained possession again here, and dictating the play again with some nice, smart passes.
The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting US Soccer, and that is almost another goal, by visiting uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter at USL.
That is a fantastic save there from Lind. Almost certain to be 2-0 to Charlotte, and he's got his hand outstretched there and pushed that ball away from goal. He's just kept his team in the game right now. Fantastic save from Lind.
You know, Chris, if I'm in one of these reads and the ball's near the goal, foul me. You can pick up a yellow card. You can go spikes up on me. It'd be like old days.
I never did that.
Oh, yes. You didn't like it when I called you Mr. Red Card. You told me that yellow cards were more your speed.
Nah, I never got cards in my career.
Yeah. I never called the game in which you got a yellow card. I can promise you that's never been the case. Never been the case, Nursey.
Charlotte here comfortable right now, keeping possession of the ball, making Rochester work side to side.
Yeah, Rochester needs to get possession of the ball and
they've really
assert themselves, and they just
haven't
been able to do that.
Now they've won it back. They've got to keep possession of it, and they've got to create chances and make something happen, you know. With Charlotte stringing passes and side to side, they're going to get very tired just chasing the ball. They've got to make it count when they receive it back and keep possession.
Nice move to send it forward off the intended target, headed away by Kalungi.
Yeah, the midfielders just got to get 5 yards further forward there to pick up the second balls. Looks like a stoppage here for an injury.
And that's a man that you know, Beresford.
Yeah, he'll shake that off. He's a strong boy. He'll be fine.
Take a look at this last possession by Charlotte.
The keeper's done fantastic to push that out of the goal.
And how close was it for David Estrada in getting a brace? If it's not for that left hand of Lind.
He would have got a brace, and that's not the start that Bob Liddy would have wanted for his team tonight. I'm sure he'll be having words on them, telling him to get closer, not allow Charlotte to have as much time on the ball as they have right now, and really put the pressure on them to get themselves back into this game.
Bloody nose for Brandon Beresford, Nursey's teammate with the Guyana national team.
Yeah, I'm sure the medics, they'll be able to get him back on the field and ready to play. He's definitely not going to want to come out of the game. He's not that kind of player, you know. He's going to want to play regardless. So hopefully they can patch him up and we see him back on the field shortly.
You ever taken a head to the nose like that?
Head to the nose?
You ever had a bloody nose in a game?
I don't think so. I really struggled from that injury.
Ball sent forward and nobody home for Rochester. And this is, I guess, what's got to be frustrating the Rhinos right now, in that they're not able to sustain any possessions.
Yeah, I think they really need to get Forbes on the ball. He's been the man who's been able to control and dictate the play and the tempo for them so far this season. And right now, being a man down with Beresford being seen to on the touchline by the medics, they need to play a little bit smarter and just keep possession of the ball. Try to stay tight and compact in defense and give themselves a chance being a man down and not just keep giving it back to Charlotte.
Counter opportunity, big save by Mizell.
Yeah, fantastic opportunity there.
And
Left foot shot across the keeper, pushed it away from a corner. Rochester's first clear chance to get themselves back into this game.
Good counter on a turnover by Martinez. Groff one-on-one with the keeper. Big save by Cody Mizell. And I think Groff probably pulled the trigger a little too early on that. He could have dribbled up on Mizell, gotten him to commit, and then probably just dribbled it home.
Yeah, he could have probably taken it onto his right foot and put it into the corner, but he chose to try and catch the keeper early with his left foot and was unlucky.
Forbes with the service, gets it right back. That's into the back of Kalungi, and we'll do it all over again.
Yeah, I think that's what Rochester want to see more. They want to see Forbes getting on the ball, putting balls into the box, creating for his team, dictating the tempo of play, and helping his team to get back into this game right now.
Right foot, it will swing away from the net. See if he decides to go a little bit higher than the last time. He does. And that will be chased down and then sent back towards the 18. Pinballing around before Fall finally settles it down. Chipped high in the air, and that will go past the end line, and Mizell will kick this away.
Yeah, that's a good build-up attack there from Rochester. You know, a good chance to get quality ball into the box, and the midfielder's got to do better with that delivery. You know, he's overhit that, give his team a better chance of scoring with a better delivery there. He's got to do better.
Mizell will go short, and Charlotte will build from the back. Ball finally settles down for Estrada. Ross across the pitch. Kalungi slides it into the middle, gets stolen.
Yeah, midfielder's done well to cut, and that's where they got to take a bit of care in the ball. They've just won the ball back in the middle of the field and given it back so cheaply. It's going to cost them in the long run because they're going to get tired chasing all the time. You know, that's where they need to take care of the ball.
Martinez in a wrestling match with Brown. Brown has whistled for the infraction. And that's way too far for Herrera. Beresford is back on the pitch in the middle of the action.
Yeah, it's good to see him back on the field. He probably took a little bit of a knock in the head there with the bloody nose, but you know, he'll shrug that off and look to get his team back into this game.
Groff is chasing. Ross out wide.
And you feel Rochester are getting some good pressure onto the ball, but they're doing it in ones. Some players are doing it on their own. They need to do it collectively as a team. It's going to be their best chance to get back into this game, winning the ball high up the field by getting into Charlotte's faces.
The whistle stops play. It was on Martinez, Alex Martinez, and I know he didn't like the call. Take another look.
Yeah, in all honesty, he's probably got a fair shout. There wasn't much of a foul there, but
yeah, it was.
The referee's seen something there that we haven't.
Ryan James in an all-out sprint basically took down Martinez and not the other way around. But it will be Lynn, right foot, long into the night.
Yeah, Rochester just a little bit off the tempo right now. You know, they're not winning the second balls. giving away possession a little bit too cheaply. You know, they want to try to weather this storm and make sure it doesn't cost them. But
and that's a brace. Estrada on the rebound. And the play started once again with Enzo Martinez.
Yeah, again, the ball breaks in the middle, and you don't see too many Rochester players around the second ball, and they're literally free to pick the passes that they want to pick, and they've been punished there at the end of it.
Take a look at this. Estrada starts it, lays it off to Herrera.
It's a fantastic pass there from
Then
Herrera.
Martinez, big shot, bigger shot by Estrada,
Yeah,
and that makes it a 2-0 lead.
He's done well following up the play there. Enzo's shot's been parried by the keeper, and he's just followed his run and tapped into the back of the net. Very easy finish for Estrada, 2-0 to Charlotte right now.
So that one coming in the 25th minute. You see the diehards that have hung out here in Matthews, and they are being treated to a great performance by their home club.
Yeah, Charlotte they've had an upturn of fortune recently. You know, they've been playing very well. They're on this unbeaten streak right now. They're looking to protect their unbeaten streak at home, and this will be their third win in a row, and they're trying to defend a clean sheet also. This will be their third clean sheet. You know, I'm sure that's something the coach will be going on about, is trying to keep a clean sheet. But it's very early in the game yet. I know Bob Lilly is a coach, and you know, he's not going to let his team roll over at 2-0 in the 25th minute. He'll be looking to change things tactically or players-wise and motivate his team to get back into this game.
Both of these clubs have 5 wins on the season. Charlotte nursing a 2-game win streak, 3-game unbeaten streak, and that win streak started here in Matthews on the 17th, a 2-0 win over Harrisburg, and then went on the road and played Richmond and got a 2-0 win. So 2+ games with a clean sheet for Mizell.
Yeah, you know, Charlotte's trajectory right now is on the way up. You know, they're keeping clean sheets. They're winning games at home. They're winning games away. They're looking like a very strong team to be reckoned with right now. But, you know, Rochester are also a very strong team, and they've also come back from being down before, and I'm sure this game is far from over.
Michael Garzi drew the foul. You look at Martinez there. So Canardo Forbes will be on the ball. Conversation with Gustavo Solero, the referee.
And you can see, you asked earlier about how the rain delay would affect the players. If you look at the attitudes and the mentality of some of the players when you watch them in the field right now, you can see they're as up for this game as anything. So some of the players, you can see the two Martinez brothers are very much up for this game as they would have been at normal kickoff time. So, you know, it's very much a case of experience, knowing how to manage yourself and coming out in the right mentality.
Ball gets the Groff, and then he looks for Forbes, headed in, and that little flick by Beresford is not anything that Cody Mizell needs to worry about. Rolled out to Ross, and he has to go backwards. And now moving forward is Duckett. Johnson doing a dance, and he gets it back to Duckett, who sends it forward. The 50-50 is won by Richmond. Those one touches will take them to the final third.
This is where they've got to make it count now. They're 2 down in the game. They've got to make their chances in the final third count.
That gets past the touchline.
Yeah, I think he's overrun it slightly there for a goal kick, but more positive, better positive movements there from him.
So Mizell will do the dance before he directs his defenders forward. Right foot, punch short. And that 50-50 goes over both of their heads, and it will be a throw for Rochester. And then that ball goes backwards. Wall Fall sends it back to his keeper. Now Ryan Felix. Brown. Rhinos with some running room.
Yeah, they got to keep the ball moving. Let the ball keep moving. Let the ball do the work.
Garzi switches sides. Gets it back. Forbes.
And that's the man you want to see them get on the ball. They got to start to get Forbes on the ball a little more. And unfortunately, he's not been on it as much as he has been in previous games so far this game. But I think as you see him start to come into the game more, you're going to see Rochester get back into this game a little more.
Fall that pitch way off the mark.
Yeah, you know, they're keeping good possession right now, Rochester. Building up play slowly, but they've got to be careful in that final third. You know, they've been a little bit careless in the passing. The surface is a little bit more slippery than it is normally, but they've got to try and make it count to get back into this game.
There's an unforced error right there. It's almost like they get into that final third. They start to feel some defensive pressure, and then they give it up a little too easily like they do right there. They're lucky that the whistle was blown, or actually Charlotte was lucky the whistle was blown. But there was an opportunity where they had the build-up and then the breakdown.
Yeah, and Charlotte are dropping a lot of players behind the ball, so it's very difficult to find the passes in between. So you just have to be patient when they get into the final third there. Just keep the ball moving, move it quickly, and the spaces will open up. And that's where you're going to count on your big players to make it count when those opportunities arise.
Fans, stay up to date with the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget that Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. And that will go the way of Rochester, and a card is handed out to Mr. Callum Ross, and that one is the 32nd minute.
Yeah, but that's Forbes getting on the ball a little bit there, trying to drive his team forward, dribbling with the ball and being brought down. You know, he's the man for them. He's the one to make them tick in the middle of the park.
And it was a combination of a few things. It was the hold, and then ultimately the foot.
Yeah.
I think if it wasn't for the hold, he doesn't go to his pocket. But he saw, we're talking about Solero. Solero sees everything taking place.
Yeah.
I think he was holding back on the whistle. And then when that foot came in, ultimately, the card.
Yeah, I think he saw the player was just about to break away. And decided to caution the defender for bringing him down. But
nice defensive play by Estrada.
Yeah. Two players going full-heartedly for the ball there.
But what's impressive about that is Estrada already has 2 goals on the night and then comes up big on defense like that. Nice to see two-way soccer.
Yeah, and a player, you know, Charlotte have some players who, if you give time on the ball, you allow them space on the ball, they're going to hurt you. So it's important that Rochester recognize those players and ensure that when they get the ball, they get tight to them, they put pressure on them, and they don't allow them the space and time to hurt them.
And that pass cannot be handled as Brown played it off of his head, and it will be a throw coming up for Johnson, taking his time to decide which way he wants to go. Moved up the pitch about 7-8 yards, and I think he was probably a yard in by the time he threw it.
Yeah,
you know, do it again.
Charlotte now trying to dictate the tempo of play. They're 2-0 up. They're in no rush to take the throw on. You know, they're really trying to kill any momentum that Rochester are trying to build right now. I really see Bob Lilly getting into his team at second half and really trying to get a reaction out of them for the second half.
Appreciate that you're with us here on this USL game between Charlotte and Rochester. We started about 2.5 hours late because of major weather in the area. David Estrada broke this game open at the 12-minute mark and then doubled it with a brace at 25. Now Rochester trying to build up. Beresford just couldn't hang on to that one.
Yeah, things just not clicking for them quite in the final third right now for Rochester. But you know, they're prodding, they try to be positive with their passes. It'll come.
When you were captaining this youngster in Brandon Beresford, what did you see in him that really made you say, "Hey, this kid's special"?
He has a work ethic. You know, he works very hard. He has a persistence, a determination. He has a very good shot, a very good strike on goal. And you can see he's progressed over the years. You know, you can see he's done well at the PDL level, and now he's progressed where he's starting in a team like Rochester, which is a very good side, and rightfully deserved his place in the national team off the back of working very hard.
And this play by the Rhinos was started by a steal by Ryan James. And then they'll build now from the back line. Farrell, who picked up a yellow card at 14, will chip forward looking for Groff. Does not meet the mark. And now we have a 50-50 that sees two players down. One holding his head and one looking like he was more hurt by the fall, and that's Garzi and Enzo Martinez. So Farrell with the long ball off the mark, headed away, and then Garzi and Martinez collide.
Yeah, whenever players get head injuries now, you want to be worried and take a little more caution, especially with all the research that is being done right now on concussion. You know, they're a lot more cautious with players with head injuries.
Not much caution with that one as play resumes, and both players involved running around. That ball slides forward to Groff, and that was a wow, just outside. That was a nifty little pass with the back heel, and that is about 1 foot wide of that right post. Corner coming up, and Garzi you see right in the middle of the action.
There's a nice pass into the box, a clever little flick, and unlucky with the strike to be deflected wide, otherwise it may have found the bottom corner, but Rochester have been putting on the pressure in the last 5 minutes, and you could feel a good opportunity coming sooner or later.
Cleared out momentarily, white shirts on it. And that's Wall Fall, who's just outside of the 18 on the ground.
Yeah, good.
And now back up.
Good technique on the volley. They head over the ball, drilled it along the floor, on target. You never know what could happen when you take a shot like that.
Mizell will punt this one away in the 38th minute. Ball settles down at the feet of Johnson. Give and go, and it doesn't quite work out. It will be Rhino ball. Soccer fans, Nike is the official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. He wants that ball, and it does not get there, off the mark. Yearwood.
Good pressure there from Beresford, winning the ball back. And that's what Rochester need. They need to get tight. They need to put pressure on Charlotte. And that's their chance to get back in the game. When they give them time and allow them to play, they look fantastic. But see, the last 5 minutes, they've got tight to them, put pressure on them, and they've got themselves some good chances of getting back in this game.
Rochester with pretty much everybody forward, trying to settle up. That ball's knocked away by Johnson. Throw for Feo. Ball will stay with Rochester. Camden Feo with the throw. Garzi goes backwards.
And Rochester want to try and steal a goal here before halftime and try to carry that positive momentum into halftime. Of course, they don't want to concede another one, but if they can take the score to 2-1 before halftime, it's going to be a very interesting start to the second half.
Rochester lucky to still be on the ball as that long distance pass towards the 18 stolen away, and Groff gives it up way too easily.
Way too easy.
Martinez on the counter, throwing it over for Herrera. He'll chase it down just outside the 18, pitch it in.
Keeper's done well to collect that.
Dan Lind snatches it out of the air before Martinez. Enzo Martinez can catch up with it, but beautiful counter.
Beautiful counter. You know, Rochester were having the better of the play for the last 5-7 minutes. And Charlotte have just countered on them, almost created a scoring opportunity. That's something they want to be careful of. They don't want to go down and have a goal before halftime right now.
And that's a situation that Graf wants back, because you can't turn the ball over in the final third and give up a counter like that.
Yeah, you know, his team is under pressure already, being 2-0 down. They want to make these chances count in the final third to get themselves back into the game. He has to be a little bit more responsible with the ball for his team.
They say that a 2-0 lead is the toughest lead in soccer to hang on to. Is it a little bit easier when the team you're playing starts to panic when they get into the final third?
I think you'd always rather be 2-0 up than 2-0 down, but you know, once you get a goal, the momentum of the game changes. And it's up to the experienced players in the team to try and marshal the manner of the game, the tempo of the game, and take control in that situation. But you know, once the game goes to 2-1, it becomes anybody's game all of a sudden.
Kalungi sends it forward, finds Ross.
And Charlotte here won't be trying to take any risks with 5 minutes to halftime. They'll be trying to get in halftime, ensuring they don't concede a goal and they keep this steady lead going into the end of the game.
Nice service by Estrada, looking for Herrera. Great ball movement all the way up the pitch.
Yeah, that's great ball movement from Charlotte, but that's fantastic defending also. You know, that's a fantastic cross he's put into the box, and the defender's done very well to win the header and keep him from having a scoring chance.
So it will be Jorge Herrera that will take this corner, as Charlotte is just taking their time now in the 42nd minute, up 2 goals. So it'll be a right foot by Herrera that will swing away from Dan Lind. You see the 2 Martinez brothers momentarily in your screen. That ball is high in the air. Whistle will stop play, and Rochester dodges a bullet. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com. and follow them on Twitter at USL. Ryan James sending it forward, looking for Beresford, but the turnover is there, and Charlotte will take their time throwing this one in.
Yeah, Charlotte will be in no rush to get this ball back into play with just 5 minutes to halftime. You know, they'll try to shut up shop, go into halftime with the lead.
An opportunity for Rochester just outside the 18. Brown will have to chase that one down, send it backwards, now into the box, or in the direction of the box, and headed out by Ross.
Yeah, and you can see Charlotte drop very deep when they're defending. They get a clear 2 banks of 4, defending the edge of their box. And you can see even Martinez back to the top of his box, defending this 2-0 lead going into halftime. So it makes it very difficult for Rochester to find passes in between them, which could be an explanation for why they're struggling in the final third. But they've got to try to do something to get into this game, and we'll be interested to see what changes Bob Liddy makes.
Pushing it forward. Estrada lays off for Johnson. Another corner coming up for Charlotte, and that's again, we've seen this throughout the first 45 minutes. Charlotte being able to counter, moving the ball down the pitch, keeping it on the ground, not panicking, being patient, and having a nice build-up. And that one coming from the back as Johnson was overlapping. This ball once again is going to come away from the net. Herrera once again with the service. Right foot, high in the air. And that one glanced off the head and knocked away.
Yeah, Charlotte have been very good in taking their chances, but when they've conceded possession, they've been very good at getting players behind the ball and making it very difficult for Rochester to break them up with passes in between them. I think Rochester have been in the game so far. It's just they can be a little more clinical in that final third. They could easily get back into this game because they've had the chances. They've had the ball in the final third. They just need to make those chances count.
They've done a good job building from the back and getting from the middle to that final third. It's when they get into the final third that they're being a little sloppy with the ball. Little added activity as we finish up this 45. 2 minutes of added time for your viewing pleasure. And for Charlotte, they just want to maintain this 2-0 lead. For Rochester, they would love to find an opportunity to get it past Mizell right before going into the locker room. And even though we've been given 2 minutes, we've pretty much wasted 30 seconds without any play at all. It is Herrera once again. Right foot into the box, and that's an easy save for Dan Lynn.
Yeah, I think it's important for Rochester to not concede from that set piece and to ensure that they go into this break without giving away another goal. I don't think they want to take any risks here with just 1 minute to half time. I think Bob Lilly will be telling his team to get up the field, and we want him to have some keen words with them very shortly from now.
So Rochester trying to build last-minute push.
Good switch pass there from Beresford, just keeping possession for his team.
Big defense by Johnson.
And that's what you don't want. You don't want your team going under the break here with 30 seconds to go to a half-time. They just want to keep possession and ensure that they go into half-time still in the game, still in the chance with the second half of getting back into this.
Yearwood. Dribble into the corner before he sends it through the box. Nice build up by Charlotte, nursing that 2-0 lead. There's really no reason for him to give up that ball.
No, you know, it's game management. They have to understand where they are in the game right now. Just try to get to halftime where they can regroup.
That's going to do it for the first 45 plus 2, with the Jacks up 2-0 earlier in the day.
Yeah, and you know, Rochester, Bob Lilly would have sparked up his team. They'll be looking to start the second half quietly. He would have charged them up to get a response in the second half, regardless of any delays. He made them wait to get a chance to get back in this game. So, you know, he's going to want to see a reaction. Important to mention the dedication of the fans here. They stuck it out through a big delay, and it says a lot about the character of this club that for the fans to be there this time of night.
So we're underway in the second half. And Rochester trying to get on that ball because we don't know how much time we've got left in this game. Game would be official after 61 minutes, and you got to figure if we get into another delay sometime in the middle of this half, it may very well be made an official game. So for Rochester to try to come out of this trip to Charlotte with points, they got to strike early and often.
Yeah, they've got nothing to lose in this second half, and they're going to have to try to get back in the game as quickly as possible because, as you mentioned, if it gets called, the result will stand as it currently is, so they can't afford to sit back. They've got to get on the front foot and go after this game quickly.
Flag is up. Play will stop. You can look at Cody Mizell, who made a couple of good saves in that first half.
Yeah, he's really set himself up as a big keeper in this league right now. He's had some huge performances over the last couple of weeks, and if he continued them, I'm sure his parent club in the MLS is keeping a close eye on him.
Rochester playing some defense, getting that ball back. Last couple of games for both of these teams. You take a look at Charlotte. They're on a 2-game win streak. That shot from distance way off the mark. Actually, Charlotte right now 3 games unbeaten. That started in Cincinnati with a 1-1 draw. And then here at home, Harrisburg City Islanders, and it was a 2-0 win over the by the Jacks. And then Richmond on the road. It was another 2-1 win. So not bad. Three games, 7 points. And you take a look at Rochester, and they've been on a bit of a point roll themselves. Points in their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games themselves. 3 wins, 3 draws in those games.
Yeah, we can see Rochester getting after the game right now. They're really trying to pressure a lot higher. They've set the point of confrontation a lot higher, trying to pressure Charlotte higher up the field. But we've seen Charlotte weather these storms last week, and it's a case of whether they can manage the game again and do it again this week. But Rochester started the second half pressuring the game much higher up the field.
Weathering the storm, apropos on the evening. Charlotte will take their time, build from the back. When you're up against the clock, which we may very well be if you're Rochester in terms of this game continuing, is it almost a situation where you just throw everybody forward and throw caution to the wind?
I don't think they want to throw everybody forward, because the last thing they want to do is concede and literally write themselves the game out of their hands. But I think they definitely want to increase the pressure, put Charlotte under pressure to turn the ball over, and then they got to try to turn that possession into good scoring opportunities. And I think that's what they struggled to do in the first half, was to capitalize on those scoring opportunities.
Garzi sending it forward. It's cleared out momentarily. Forbes dribbling out of trouble. Garzi gets it back, and he has to set the offense up on the other side of the line. Still on the ball. Rochester moving forward. Now going backwards.
They've just got to keep that ball moving a little bit quicker, and they're going to open Charlotte up. But if they keep moving the ball slowly, it gives Charlotte a chance to switch and keep into possession, and then at the end force the turnover.
Now on the attack, Martinez. Play on. Little give and go action. Ross. Ball now moving to the right side of the pitch for Charlotte. Johnson. Martinez goes backwards.
And we mentioned earlier managing the game, and that's what Charlotte are doing right now. They're 2-0 up. They're in no rush to score a goal, but they're just keeping possession and frustrating Rochester more than anything. And
Martinez with an opportunity to take it forward, loses the handle. Now Rochester will try to build from the back. That's not a ball that's going to help them do it. And the Jacks right back on it. Johnson centering. Nice back heel pass. Herrera just whiffed on it. Had the angle momentarily, but just turned on it a little too much.
Yeah, that was fantastic creativity there in the attacking box again from Martinez with the little flick around the corner. Attacker screwed his shot wide. Good opportunity to get keeper working there, but a little bit of a let off there for Rochester.
You get a feeling that Enzo Martinez is just a little bit better than most of the guys on this pitch.
Yeah, you know, he had a very bright future when he was coming up, and if you follow his journey, you know, everybody wants to see him go on and push as far as he can, and I think, you know, it's up to him as an individual how far he goes. I think his talent is unquestionable. Maybe there's some other aspects of why coaches haven't taken a chance on him as yet, but I think he's showing now that he's very capable.
Rochester with big defensive play to turn the defense into offense. Brown looking to decide which way he wants to go. A little give and go from Forbes. Then they'll try their luck on the other side. Rochester in need of a goal. Wall fall forward. Garzi. Graff was trying to get it to Brown. Broken up.
Unlucky there for Rochester, but we can see it all stems from Forbes now beginning to get on the ball and make them play. He's beginning to play with it as teammates pass the ball, get it back, and that's where it's coming from. They need to try and get him on the ball more to create those opportunities for his teammates.
Ball pinballing around. Brown with an opportunity to move it forward. He's got Graff to the right. Has to get past Johnson. Tangles Johnson up. Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget, Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. 53rd minute. Charlotte up by 2 and with possession of the ball now. Ross moving it over.
And again, I think Charlotte know their coach would have told them tactics for this game. If the game gets to the 61st minute and there's another lightning strike, the game gets called. So Charlotte for sure know that they're in no rush to go and concede in this game. They're in no panic to go giving Rochester chances. So they're managing the game very smart right now.
They just need to play mistake-free football. They'll take their time from the back. Kalungi. Johnson. And that's a handball.
Yeah, Johnson got a little bit lucky there. He could have got rid of that ball a little bit earlier. Saved himself the pressure from the forward, but lucky enough it came off the hand and it ends up being a Charlotte free kick.
Charlotte will just play possession. Martinez whistled on that hold. Camden Feu goes backwards.
Rochester really need to play with some urgency right now. You know, they're 2 down. 10 minutes into the second half, they really need to take this game to Charlotte and start playing like there's 10 minutes left. They've got to start taking that tempo forward now and not wait until the last minutes of the game.
Down the line to Graff. Trying to get it to Brown, and it's broken up nicely by that back line. Alex Martinez, and your teammate and national team member.
Yeah, it's good pressure from Brandon there. You know, he's showing that he's trying to win the ball back for his team, not trying to give Martinez time on the ball to turn and play forward, and that's what Rochester need right now. They need a bit of urgency and pressure on Charlotte.
Still don't seem to have that amazing sense of urgency. Letting Charlotte basically dictate the pace. Not sure why you would go with that move when you just need to possess the ball.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a slow start to the second half for Charlotte. They just tried to take any momentum that Rochester are building outside of the game by just taking their time a little bit longer with set pieces, with goal kicks. Just trying to possess the play and frustrate Rochester. Rochester just got to get it on the floor, move that ball quickly and try to create opportunities in the spaces behind the Charlotte midfielders and get shots at the keeper.
Looks like it will be Johnson's ball to throw in. And a turnover right there as Garzi had the ball at his feet. That ball will go past the touchline. Ross got a foot on it, and it will be Dan Lind to kick this one away.
Yeah, Lind made a fantastic save in the first half just to keep Rochester inside of this game, and he's going to be coming up big in this second half also.
Long into the night, that 50-50 won by Charlotte. Spends a lot of time in the air before it settles down at the feet of Ross. Estrada was looking to go to the middle of the pitch to Herrera, but it's intercepted.
did fantastic with a little bit of skill there to keep the ball astride, but he just needed to keep the pass simple too. There was no need to look for the Hollywood pass. He could have just played it simple, kept his team in possession.
Nice defense by Johnson, sending the ball into Martinez, and now Charlotte will play keep away.
Yeah, Johnson's been having some solid performance at right back for his team recently. He got an assist last week for the goal, and he's having another strong performance again tonight.
Once again, Charlotte doing what they've been very effective with in this second half, just playing keep away.
Yeah, and they got to be careful. Players like John Marker Davison, they spread about the field to find space to get time on the ball. And he's one of the players for Charlotte that can make them tick. So it's important that when he picks up the ball that Rochester try to put pressure on him immediately.
This ball will move back up again, and Charlotte just doing a really good job of possessing. Marcus Davidson, and he'll give it back to his keeper.
And that's a perfect opportunity there. The forward's pressured, and the ball's in play to the right back there with under no pressure. You know, that's where Rochester have to pressure a team not to allow Charlotte to get out here. Because they've not pressured, they're now chasing back 50 yards.
The counter is broken up by that back line of the Rhinos. Can't give up a ball like that when there's a lot of blue shirts around. Alex Martinez dribbles himself out of trouble. His brother is sprinting forward. The ball is to Enzo, and it just gets broken up. Rhinos cannot afford to play sloppy football right now. Goal number one for Charlotte is to get to the 61st minute.
Yeah.
Then goal number two is to finish out the game, however long it lasts. If you're Rochester, you want to get the full 90.
Yep.
If you're past the 61st minute and you're Charlotte, you'll just take whatever nature gives you.
Yeah, and I think the players know that managing the weather, the conditions of the weather has become in this game a huge factor. So they know if they can get to the 61st minute and they're still in the lead, if there's any chance of a lightning strike, they know that they've claimed this victory. And I think, you know, they're currently ensuring this happens.
Camden Fayou with the turnover, and that's not a good thing if you're a Rhino. Enzo Martinez, and he probably went down a little bit easier than he needed to.
Yeah, he went down easy, but lovely feet, lovely skill there to get in between two of the Rochester players. Rochester just need to up that intensity just a little bit. One goal and they're back in this game.
60th minute. Glad that you're still with us at this late hour. This game was scheduled to start at 7 p.m. We started about 2.5 hours late. Finished the first 45 minutes of action for you, and then had an extended halftime, as the weather has not been kind to either team. And David Estrada has not been kind to the Rhinos. He had a brace at 12 and 25 in the first half. 50-50, won by Charlotte. And Charlotte will continue to control this ball. Sent long. Herrera still on, dribbling. He's got friends to the left and the right, right in front. Dummy pass, misses the mark, and Rochester with an opportunity to change their fortunes.
Yeah, and you're seeing the ball bounce loose, and you just want to see Rochester get on the front foot a little bit and get on the end of some of these second balls.
Martinez from distance. Dan Lynn had to go to his feet, but he saved it nonetheless. Wall fall backwards. Now in that 61st minute.
Yeah, that strike there from Martinez. We spoke about the surface and driving the ball low and hard on this surface that picks up speed and gives the goalkeeper a hard time. And that was Martinez there testing the keeper.
We are past the 61st minute, so this game will be official if there's another weather delay and play cannot resume. 2-0. Jacks over the Rhinos so far.
Yeah, and 30 minutes is a long time to play now, so now we're past the 60-minute mark. I think now Rochester have nothing left but to go for this game.
for Charlotte, they just need to do what they've done since the opening whistle of the second half, and that is just to possess the ball. Martinez with some running room. Has to get past the defender. He's got an angle, and he decided to pass instead.
I don't know why he's passed there. The perfect opportunity to slide that ball into the far corner. He'd done everything right. Beat the defender. Fantastic skill and balance. All he had to do was slide that ball past the keeper. He's been unselfish, tried to look for his partner, but unfortunately he wasn't there at the right time.
So here comes Rochester. Forbes slides it forward. Rhinos will stay on it. Camden Feu. Fall. Brown. Running room. Thought that Garzi was going that way. Garzi pulled up the brakes, and that will be a kick for Cody Mizell. Soccer fans, Nike is the official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com.
And that was a fantastic turn and drive from Brown. All he had to do was make the keeper work, strike through the ball, hit the target, and you never know you get your team back in the game. Unfortunately, Chitley screwed the ball wide, and again, a costly, wasted chance in the final third for Rochester.
So in the last two plays, we have seen players from each team be unselfish, and as a result, nothing to account for.
Yeah, I think that was a bad shot. I think Enzo's chance was possibly more unselfish.
Here's Groff. Big save by Mizell.
Fantastic save from Mizell there.
Second opportunity for Groff to get on the board for Rochester. Both times probably pulled the trigger a little too early. Both times Mizell comes up big.
And it was a fantastic through pass, fantastic first touch. It probably just took him a little bit away from goal on his weaker foot, but he's made the keeper work.
He went near post. If he'd gone far post, he probably had an easy goal. Estrada puts that ball up in the air. Farrell trying to fight for it. Here comes Charlotte. They get it back. Pull up the brakes. Dribble out of trouble. Send the ball backwards, but on the corner once again. Wall fall. Gets it to Forbes. Forbes trying to turn on it. Another big cover-up save by Mizell.
Yeah, Rochester creating chances now. They got to make one of these count pretty soon to get themselves back into this game and make Charlotte get uncomfortable.
Best run of play so far for the Rhinos in the last couple of minutes.
And they've got to keep this pressure up. This pressure is what's giving them a chance to get back in the game. They're stealing the ball, winning turnovers, and forcing Charlotte to make tougher decisions under pressure.
Now Charlotte trying to get back into the rhythm they've had since the second half started. Turnover.
Beresford working very hard for his team right now, covering a lot of ground, putting pressure on them all over the field.
Ball will go in the direction of the Rhinos. They'll go backwards to move forward. Camden Feu. Farrell out wide to James. Pulls up the brakes. Sends the ball towards the net. See exactly what happened on this play.
Looks like a penalty kick for handball.
Go to the replay to take a look at this handball. Ball is well played into the 18. You see there. Yep. So here's what we got, folks. 12 yards.
And that's just
12 yards will separate Walt Fall and Cody Mizell. Fall with an opportunity to split this lead in half. It will be the right foot. It's 2-1. Back of the net. We'll do it again.
Yeah, the referee's called an infringement there. Maybe somebody's ran in the box a little too early. and he's brought it back for the penalty to be taken again.
So, in the 67th minute, we've already seen Fall put it past Mizell once. That doesn't count, so we'll do it again, see if he'll get the same result. And it is in the back of the net. Wall Fall gets his second goal in as many games, and it's now a 2-1 game here in Charlotte.
And that's a fantastic penalty, because obviously penalty takers have a favorite side that they like to go, and obviously with the referee bringing it back for a second penalty, he had the decision of whether to go the same side or to change sides, and he's seen the keeper go to the other side, and he's changed his mind and gone to the other corner. So fantastic penalty there.
So now we've got an interesting ball game. In the 68th minute, the Rhinos have also stopped a very long streak of Cody Mizell, who has pitched 2 shutouts going into this game, and through 67 minutes was doing it again. So that streak is now done and over with, and now Charlotte will start to play with a sense of urgency.
Yeah, I know that this team has been priding themselves on the defense and how they've been collectively working hard as a team. But fortunately, that clean sheet sequence that they were going through is gone tonight, and now it's a different game. Rochester will be looking to build the momentum that they built by creating a goal, and they'll be looking to get back into this game very quickly to make it an equalizer.
That ball sent high in the air, sent forward. Groff was chasing. Johnson sends it down the pitch. Be chased down by Camden Feo before he has to go backwards to his keeper, who came out of the 18. Left foot down the line. Loose ball picked up by Forbes, and that will go past the touchline. Throw coming in for the Rhinos.
And if we look at how the majority of goals have been scored tonight, they've all been scored by pretty much diagonal passes penetrating the back 4. And that's again how this goal was scored.
Nice job by Groff to earn his team a corner, chasing it down. So set piece opportunity coming up for the Rhinos, who got a new lace on life a few minutes ago on a penalty kick by Fall. In swinger coming up. High in the air. Opportunity to drive it into the back of the net, and it goes wide, but Rochester still on, and wow, what a defensive play.
What a block by John Marcus Davison. That's destined for the back of the net. He's outstuck a leg at the last minute and has kept his team from going equal.
Great sequence by the Rhinos. Big time defense by number 6. We'll do this one again. Now in the 71st minute. Canardo Forbes waiting for the whistle. Another high ball. 50-50. And it will be a goal kick coming up. But you got to like, Nursey, you got to like what you're seeing out of Rochester. Getting some life, and finally, it took them about 65 minutes, but finally asserting themselves into the game, not waiting for what Charlotte was giving them.
Yeah, you know, it's fantastic to see them getting the ball down on the floor and playing. But I think in certain cases, they've been good at trying to overplay. I think they've created fantastic chances when players have made smart runs in behind. And we've seen midfielders and defenders try to play the ball in behind the back 4 is where we've seen them create goal-scoring chances. And that's where the penalty came from. A fantastic ball in behind, a fantastic run. And they got lucky with the handball. But, you know, that's where the majority of scoring chances have come in this game, is from smart balls in behind and good runs.
DeFrieger is in for Beresford. First substitution of the match. Referee Solaro will slow everything down.
And with 20 minutes to go now, Charlotte can't no longer afford to sit back because Rochester have the momentum. The goals change the game, and they're on top of this game right now. And if they continue to sit back, it's only a matter of time before they get the equaliser. We saw a fantastic clearance off the line just now, and it could easily be 2-2 right now. So Charlotte have to start upping their tempo in the game again.
Started back up. Ross to Johnson. Sliding it forward to the goal scorer and then back to Johnson. Ross will put it into the gut of Lind.
And we see that pressure from Rochester is forcing Charlotte to make some different decisions to what they were making in the first half. We've seen them give away decisions or putting bad crosses as a result of Rochester putting pressure on them. In the first half, they were taking that ball under pressure and finding an empty man in space. As a result of being pressured in the second half, Rochester ended up in possession.
Rochester trying to settle that ball down. They finally do. Some one-touch passes before they go out wide. That ball doesn't make the mark, and Rochester will have to settle it down at the feet of Farrell. Felix. Now Feo going out. Loses the handle. Pass was intended for Brown, and it will be the other number 22 on the pitch. Jalen, that was out on Jalen Brown, and it will be Joel Johnson to throw in. Work in the middle of the pitch, that's a turnover, and that's something that Rochester can't afford. Yeah, long distance pass was broken up.
They've got to make this possession count in the final third. Done fantastic to get back in the game.
Forbes, side net. He had so many options. The angle was probably the least favorable of the options that he had. He had a number of teammates to his left, and he took the shot, and he found the side of the net. Mizell will take his time kicking it away. Hilton's going to come in.
Yeah, I think it'd be very hard for Forbes to beat a keeper like Mizell from that angle. He might have been better off just drilling that across the face of the goal. One of his teammates could have been there, or it could have come off a defender and gone for an own goal, but it's going to be very difficult to be a keeper of Mizell's caliber from that angle.
Lewis Hilton checks in for Callum Ross, and you can understand why that happened at the 32nd minute mark. Ross picked up a yellow card, and it's also the brace keeper, David Estrada, checking out.
Yeah, I think the coach here for Charlotte, Mike Jeffries, is looking to solidify this game, possibly go a little bit more defensive, facing a little bit of pressure from Rochester, and try to ensure they maintain the 3 points that they have right now.
And it was David Spees coming in for him. And that was in the 75th minute. Big defensive stand. And here comes Rochester. Forbes sending it forward, looking for Graf. Brown making a run at it, couldn't get there to get the shot off. Good effort by the Rhinos. Alex Martinez with some fancy footwork, but it is Lynn who kicks it away. Rochester wanted a stoppage of play. Spees, two defenders on him, and he takes a big knock. Camden Feu. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com. Follow them on Twitter at USL. Another substitution is Brown will come out.
And I think we're seeing that little bit of aggression and pressure that we didn't quite see in the first half from Rochester. Now they're getting into the faces of the Charlotte players. They're getting tight. They're making it difficult for them to play.
So Madison comes in for Brown at the 77 minute. Brown had a nice game tonight. It always interests me when you get later in a game and you see Rochester picking up confidence and they're taking the game to Charlotte and they're having success in doing it. Always is curious to me, why did teams take so long to get to that point?
So I think obviously what the manager has said to them at halftime has had a huge effect on them coming out for the second half of this game. I think you could see a change in attitude, possibly a slight change in tactics, that they decided to pressure higher at the field. I think in the first half they probably started a little bit deeper, weren't really getting in Charlotte's faces as much. But this second half there's definitely been a change in attitude from the players on the field.
It's always tough to go into the locker room when you're down 2-0. Coach is always going to have something to say about it.
Yeah.
And then when you have an extended halftime, does it get worse, or does the coach kind of walk away at some point after he's said what he wanted to say?
I think the coach leaves it after he says what he has to say. You know, his plan is to not beat the players up. He wants to motivate them to get out the second half, charged up to get themselves back in the game because it's far from over. But he's also going to look for the big characters in his team who have been in this situation before and been down in this situation to pick the team up and be the leaders on the field. And I think you've seen that come out in Forbes in this second half. Has been a lot more lively, and he's taken that responsibility on.
Forbes is on the ball right now. Gives it the fall. Gets it out wide. Camden Feo to the middle of the pitch. Farrell. And now James. Groff. And that will be intercepted. It will be a throw coming up. DeFrieger.
You can see Rochester on top right now, and they've got to continue to do what's worked for them. When they've put the ball in behind and there's been smart runs, they've got good chances, and they've got to continue to do that.
Madison looking for a clearance. Oh, he was looking. Camden Feo was the intended target. Didn't know the pass was getting there. Rochester right back on the ball. Charlotte a little frustrated right now. Just kind of lost their composure a bit.
Yeah, Rochester clearly in control right now, keeping possession. Again, those balls into the boxes. That's where the chances have come from.
That ball high in the air. Charlotte just scrambling to clear out any kind of danger, but giving it right back to Charlotte. Excuse me, right back to Rochester, and Charlotte having to play defense. Fall wall, lays it off. Oh, Madison's going to want to have that one back. That left foot went way off the mark. He was standing right in front of the goal, but he wasn't in line. He wasn't even lined up to take a shot on goal. His entire body was lined up, Chris, exactly the way he shot the ball.
I think he had way more time there than he realized. If he had a good touch out of his feet, perfect for him to place that ball into the corner and have a strike target. He just swung rash at it with his left foot, and unfortunately that's a huge chance for his team in the 80th minute to equalize. That's a chance he's definitely going to want back.
That's a cynical foul right there. Herrera on Wall fall. And so the German will start us back up. He has the lone goal for the men in white. His second in as many games. Rochester will use that back line. Sending it forward. Intended for Groff. Kalungi gets there, but gives it up. Rochester with a push forward. Cleared out by Duckett. James looking for an opening, has to go backwards. Forbes will send it back. Fans, stay up to date with the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC, Channel 85. And don't forget, Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times. Johnson whistled for that pull from behind. 82nd minute.
Yeah, and you can sense the momentum of the game is stronger in Rochester's favor right now. And it's going to be whether Charlotte can be resilient enough in these last 10 minutes to see this game out without conceding another goal. And it's going to be if Rochester can be clinical enough to create a chance and take it.
Another substitution as Lee checks into the game. And he's going to come in for Garzi. So Lee for Garzi in the 83rd minute. And that's all the substitutions that Rochester's going to have. Forbes, and that'll stop play. And that's an opportunity that Rochester can't afford to waste. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Mizell will take his time. Big right foot. Charlotte comes up with the loose ball. Johnson. We've got a whistle away from the play. Another substitution coming up. Solero wants to let the substitution take place. Ekra will be coming in. And he'll be coming in for Marquez Davison. Nope. Changed their mind, it looks like. Herrera will check out for Ekram. Marquez Davidson will stay in the game, and that one is in the 85th minute.
Yeah, Mike Jeffries bringing in another midfielder here and taking out a forward, reinforcing the midfield, trying to make sure they see this game out without conceding another goal.
Charlotte looking to get to 22 points on the table.
You can see they've shifted formation here to Enzo up top alone. Adding an extra midfielder to help them defend.
Fall Wall with a good job of keeping the ball. That ball is headed out and towards the touchline, and it will be a corner.
And I think that's an unnecessary corner they've just given away. I think he would have wanted to get that either out his feet and up the field or out for a throw-in at the least, but now he's given the Rochester a good chance to get back into this game with a set piece.
Bernardo Forbes, the captain. It will swing away from the goal. Drives it low. Felix will give it right back. Forbes high in the air. Farrell puts his head on it, but it's over the goal. No play for Cody Mizell, and Farrell, who picked up a yellow card early in this game, tried to knot it to a piece.
It's a fantastic opportunity for Rochester, and he's got to get on target and make the keeper work. He's got up above the defender. He's got a clean connection on it. He's just got to head it down towards goal and make the keeper work there.
The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter at USL. Another ball that will go over the net.
Yeah, that's a wasted opportunity right there when his team needs him to put quality into the box. They're chasing the game. He's got time on the ball. He's got the ball out on his left foot. He just has to whip that across the goal and give his teammates a chance to get on the end of it.
Rochester down by a goal, but they've had a number of chances to try to equalize this game.
Yeah, they've definitely been the aggressor in this second half. But the story of the game so far has been a lot of wasted chances in the final third, and Charlotte need to defend this through to see if they get 3 points at home tonight.
Ball spending a bunch of time in the air, sent forward, and the Frager will send it all the way back to his keeper before that ball is sent into the night. Headed down the line, Farrell was trying to keep it on the pitch, was unable to do so.
And Charlotte will be in no rush to take this throw in. This is how they manage the game. Less than 5 minutes remaining. It's important that they really kill the momentum, kill the time, see this game out.
Austin Yearwood, who was much more active in the first half than he was in the second. Rochester gets that ball back momentarily. Now Charlotte will move forward. Ekra, nifty little pass to get it inside the 18. That ball looked like it went past the line, and it did. Late whistle on that one.
And you'd be looking for his coach. I think in this situation here, the coach has got to be telling him, go down to the corner, keep the team in possession, and waste time. They've gone to be tricky and gone to go, ended up turning over possession, now defending the ball.
Johnson heads out of trouble momentarily, and here comes the Rhinos. Lays it off for Lee. Johnson in front, ball into the 18, into the 6. See which way they decide to give this ball. Mizell will kick it away. Mizell taking his time to get this one away.
Yeah, you've seen a situation where with the forward out the opportunity to keep the ball down in the corner. He's not taking the option, and his team's ended up defending across. And luckily, the referee's given a goal kick, but it's an unnecessary attack that they didn't need to defend. There's the ball going into the corners. They just need to keep it down there.
Little tense moments for Rochester, but they get out of it. Forbes will lay out for James. James will go down the pitch. You see Charlotte trying to get control and Groff asserting his will. Got to give credit to the fans that have stuck with this game. We're almost at 12:15 on the other side of the calendar from when this game was supposed to start, 7 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, that's incredible dedication from the fans this evening. Tremendous level of support for the Charlotte team.
We're going to get 2 minutes of added time for your viewing pleasure and 2 minutes for the Rhinos to tie this game. And with plays like that, it's not going to work out.
Rochester be trying to win this ball back and get it upfield as quick as possible. Less than 90 seconds remaining in the game. There's possibly time for one more opportunity.
And the opportunity might come to Charlotte. Stolen away momentarily, and it will be a throw for Rochester. And that's not the throw that's going to help them out. And that ball into the stands isn't going to help them out either. And that will take care of the first of the 2 additional minutes. Martinez had it, lost the handle. That ball is blasted down the pitch. Madison was giving chase on Kalungi and did everything he could, but he drew the foul. Henry Kalungi.
Yeah, and that's very unnecessary to give away a foul there. The worst they're going to do is Kalungi's going to put that out for a throw-in, and they're going to be in the final third taking a throw, and instead giving away possession. Now they're defending a free kick, and that could be the end of the game.
Mizell will do everything he can to nurse this clock. You like that? I got it. You like that, nursing? Mizell way down the pitch, but he put it into the stands, and that gives a reprieve momentarily. And I don't know why Rochester would decide to go backwards as the clock was ticking away. This might be the very last push. That's going to be the game, guys. 2-1, Jacks over the Rhinos. Rhinos made it a game at the end.